All right, I got something special for you guys today. So, today, what we're going to go through is I'm going to show you how to set up an AI operating system for your business. We're going to go through the file structure, the custom AI's knowledge and information, the commands, skills, and actions that it can take, and how you can manage projects in different parts of your business. So, for this, you will need VS Code and Claude. So, VS Code, it's a free code editor. You can download it. I'm currently on Cursor, which is pretty much the same thing. And what you're going to want to do is you want to come up to File, open a folder, and go to the folder where you have this template. And all this is a bunch of folders and files, which we're going to turn into our AI workspace. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of different folders here. The first ones I'll go to are context and knowledge. So you can see company, metrics, strategy, team, and user. This is where you put all your company information, or at least most of it. So it's got these little markdown files where you can read and see what you need to put in there. And then down here, there's a little bit of other stuff like brand, domain, processes, or SOPs. So think about this. Every time this AI is going to kick up, it's going to read these files in context to get up to speed on who you are and what your business is. Then knowledge down here, this is more just add-on additional stuff. So it won't read this every time it fires up, but it will read all of these ones. And what determines what happens when it fires up is this claude.md file down here. So you can see this is a file. This file provides guidance to Claude Code when working in this workspace. What this is, the Claude business relationship, workspace structure, directory, commands. So it's got all this information. So when you open up and you start running the AI, it's going to read this straight away and it's going to go, here's all the files that this is the environment I'm in. This is all my custom knowledge. And this is the business and person I'm working with, etc. From there, the knowledge section, we have a workflow layer. So if you come up here to commands and skills, if you think of commands, they're basically just prompts. So if I come in here, it has a set of instructions to do an autofill, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. Create a plan, it's got a set of instructions. Same with all of these. Prime, this is telling the AI to read this file and do the instructions when it loads. And then you got skills, which are more dynamic. So think of commands as prompts and then skills as things that have tools and MCPs and other things that it can use. It's not just a prompt. So we'll go through how to create them. You can see I've got 2 skills in here already. One is a skill creator, so you can build more skills and you don't have to do it all from scratch. MCP integration, this is designed to help you integrate with the MCPs and you don't have to do everything from scratch. Same principle. And then the third layer is management. So I'll close those. So top layer, workflows, second 2, foundations or context. Then we have an output folder, which this will output the results that you get back. And then plan. So whenever you want to do something big, that's probably a bit more than just a little prompt. You can ask it to write out a plan and you can go through the plan step by step and make sure it's exactly how you want before executing the plan. Projects, obviously depending on your business, this is going to vary. In my own custom one, I have a slightly different setup where, I got an onboarding section and then I got a project go ahead section, and I almost use it as a bit of a CRM and project management tool. References, this is where you can put all your assorted documents that don't quite fit anywhere else. For example, I got a thing here called templates. There's none in here, but maybe there's a specific design of email or post that you like to write, and then you can turn that into a little template and put it in here, and every now and you could make a skill to reference it or even use it to create skills and commands. Then in here you also got the shell alias, so you guys will have to put this into the terminal or pass it to the AI just to boot this up, and it basically tells it how to use this environment. Scripts, this is for your code and code snippets. If you're scared of code, don't worry about it. There's nothing too intimidating in this workspace once you get the hang of it. So I'm going to go Command J, and that's going to open a terminal. You can also come up here and create a new one. And what you're going to want to do is type in Claude and run. Now you will have to download Claude Code. As you can see, mine's already booted up And if I do a slash command, you can see that I can search for all my commands and skills. So if I go autofill, it's there. If I go prime, it's there. And what prime does is it basically runs the command to bring the AI up to date with all the information that's going on in the folders and files over here. But there's also another way to do this. So if I go kill terminal, open a new one, and if we come back down to the shell alias, you can see we have all these different commands, which they're all basically prime, but these stand for Claude safe and Claude risky mode. Now, what the difference between risky and safe mode is, when you run safe mode, Claude's going to stop and ask you every single time something comes up, being like, oh, is it okay for me to do this? And you can go yes, no, or provide an alternative option. With risky mode, it's just going to do whatever you tell it to do, but it's a lot faster. So we're just going to go risky mode. And don't worry, you guys will be fine on risky mode as long as you're not plugging anything stupid into this, like giving the AI untethered access to your whole database and it's allowed to change everything, which I would not recommend. But for this video, we're not doing anything too crazy. So if I fire that up, now once it's fired up, it's going to provide a bunch of information, which is basically coming from the claude.md file. So as you can see, all context files, etc. is still just template form, but I'll show you how to populate it, and then this will all come up as a type of profile. So what I'm going to do is I have this autofill command up here, which means I can put in a URL of a business and it's already going to generate at least most of the information I need in here, which, you always still want to look over after, but it's a good little quick start to get you guys up and running. Now you'll notice down the bottom here, you have this autofill. So it's already automatically detected that that's probably what I want to do next. So if I click tab, it'll fill that in, and I'm going to use this website called fool.com, which is a real estate website. So if I click go, and this might take a minute because it's going to do a bit of web research. All right, that's all done. And you can see it took a minute and a half. But if I come up here, now I'm in company, you can see for real estate overview, products and services, key context, metrics, strategy, which this might not be 100% correct, users. Obviously, if this was your workspace, you would fill out with your details, knowledge, brand guidelines. So this is basically a style sheet. So if you wanted to make something like presentations, it would have the typography types, core colors, all that sort of good stuff. So now that we have a bit of a knowledge base going, what we can do, and tidy this up a little bit, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to kill terminal again. Open up a new one, go CR, wait for this to load. So what's happened now is I've just fired up a new terminal and it now has context over what business this is. It would have who it is if I had populated that, understands the structure of the files of the workspace, available commands, strategy and priorities, active projects, and you guys can obviously customize this however you want. But let's create something, because now that we have this knowledge, let's do something with it. So I'm going to go /create and we'll go create skill. Click tab, and now I'm just going to describe what I want to do. So can you create me a skill that takes in property information and outputs a listing description? Obviously, you guys can be a bit more creative than this. And if you're doing something like this, if you have a stack of, say, descriptions or posts or whatever it is that you've done in the past, you can always feed them in as well and use them as references or a template. But I'll click enter. What property information will be provided? So structured fields, address, bedrooms, bathrooms, land, free notes, agents, rough notes. Let's go both. Make it a little bit more dynamic. What type of listings should this cover? Residential, sales, rentals, all. Let's just go residential sales. How long should the listing description typically be? Good question. Let's go. We'll just go let's go 2 to 300. Do you have an example listing you'd like me to reference for tone and style? So like I was saying, You can provide stuff, but it's already asking you for all this information so it can actually make something of quality. Use the brand guidelines, we'll just do that. Submit answers. All right, so that's all done. And look, it's still even beating me to it. Yes, let's test it with a property. So I'm going to go that. And then if you go Shift Enter, you can create a little space there. And I've just got a little made up property here, which I got Claude to write with a few little details. And there you go, 14 Harlow Crescent. So obviously I'm not a property expert, but you can always tweak this. And over time, you can just build up these skills and prompts. But this is really just the tip of the iceberg because you can integrate this with basically almost any application you use. So if I came here and let's say Property Me is a pretty big business in Australia. So if I went Property Me API, integrations, there's probably going to be something in here. Oh, not those ones. Property Me API docs. So I'll come in, work all that stuff out, and come down to my little thing and go, can you write me a plan to integrate my Property Me account with this workspace so I can query it? Property management system, Property Me Australia. Yep. Would you want to query it from? What would you want to query from it? Property details, landlord tenant data, financial reporting. Let's just go all. Submit answers. Now, I haven't actually integrated with this application before, but since we're on the real estate subject, I thought it'd be a good one to show you guys because I'm sure you can integrate with it. And basically what it's going to do, it's going to put together a little plan and it's going to tell you, I need A, B, and C from you. And from there, you can actually ask straight questions here and it'll go get the information for you. So that's all done. And as you can see here, good news, Property Me has a document REST API, Auth 2.0, so you can integrate with it. The approach is to build a custom MCP server that wraps Property Me REST API. Not a bad idea. 3 open questions. Do you have a Property Me API key access? Should Claude have read-only access? That's an important point. If you guys are going to integrate some of your applications in this, I do recommend just doing read-only unless you really know what you're doing, or else you could cause all sorts of problems. Do you manage multiple Property Me portfolios? I think that's probably enough, but you guys get the gist of it, and I hope this sparked a few little ideas for you. As you can see here, that's where the plan has been saved to. So if I pull this down, that's that. And then what you want to do after you've made a whole bunch of skills and commands and different things, you want to just make sure that the AI updates this file. So every time you start up a fresh one, it gets the full context of all the things that have been updated and what's changed over time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll leave a link in my free resource hub if you want to get this exact template and you can download it and start using it. If you want me to set up a custom one of these for your business, you can also book a call with us and we can have a chat about what sort of things you would like this to do. This is a short tutorial and I've only just skimmed the tip of the iceberg with the amount of things you can actually do with this. So if you found this interesting, I'm going to start dropping a lot more videos on how you can make these things for different industries and department specific AIs. So if you liked it, stay tuned. I'll see you next time.